No matter what we do, time keeps flowing. And the worst feeling is when you've realized weeks, months, years have passed by, and you look back to see that you've got nothing done. And despite that, it's still hard to be motivated. If I try to think about the times where I've been motivated, it goes back to video games. And although games haven't been as fun for a while now, I found myself being extremely motivated to play for a short amount of time. And from that experience, I learned a lot about what gets me up and going towards what I want to do. And I hope it helps you. If I look back about a couple weeks ago, I was in a really motivated state. In this game called Genshin Impact, new characters come out every so often, right? And I really wanted this character called Kanich. I pretty much spent all day preparing for when he came out, so I could 1, increase my chances of getting him because it's a gacha game, and 2, so I could level him quickly so that I can use him in game, right? And he's not useless. It wasn't always fun, but I was still motivated despite the fact that I had to do a lot of mundane and repetitive tasks to achieve these goals. And I thought to myself, why was I so motivated? It's first important to understand what motivation is. The biggest misconception I've heard about motivation is that it should feel good. Motivation comes from being deprived. When you're hungry and deprived of food, you're motivated to eat. When you're deprived of air, you're motivated to breathe, right? When you don't know how to draw something, you feel deprived of this insight, deprived of the knowledge of knowing how to do that, and you become motivated to figure it out. It can both feel good, like I really want this thing that I don't have, or it can feel bad. My stomach hurts because I'm so hungry. Either way, deprivation is what gets you moving. The first way that I found to feel more motivated is to increase your deprivation. Back to the Genshin Impact example, as I scrolled YouTube, all the videos that were on my homepage were just Kanich videos, aka videos of the character that I wanted. Seeing videos about him popping up over and over again reminded me of the fact that I don't have him, right? When I load up the game and see the timer for how long I have left, it reminds me that if I don't grind, I might not get him. And when you're being constantly reminded, it becomes the only thing that's like going through your mind during the day. Because you see this video and you just feel a pain of, I wish I had that. And every time that you're reminded, it boosts up the deprivation. Like how you can feel it in your stomach when you're hungry. And soon enough, when you're hungry enough, you literally can't ignore it anymore because how much it hurts. And if you see other people with 5-star meals, it's gonna make your stomach even worse, right? So that's reminders. Another way to increase deprivation is to, make it more important to you. There was like this cool bracelet, right? And then you lost it. If you didn't really care too much about it, it wouldn't feel like you lost that much. But if it was like your great-great-grandfather's bracelet that he passed down to you, and it means a lot to you, suddenly when you lose it, you're gonna feel like this bigger gap of deprivation. And so for me in this Genshin character, I really liked the way that he looked, I really liked his gameplay, and I really liked his backstory. And so since there were so many things that meant something to me, I became, more fixated on getting him because if I didn't get him, I'd be more deprived. Okay, moving on. The other way to feel more motivated is to decrease how much deprivation gets taken away from you. Outside of video games, I believe this is very important. Something that you probably realize is that deprivation has a habit of causing pain, right? That's why it's motivating. Hunger is a type of pain. Not being able to breathe is a type of pain. Not having the new Jordans is a kind of pain. But most people now, including myself, instead of satisfying your deprivation, people often find ways to cope with this pain. So instead of eating, they suppress their hunger by playing video games. Instead of learning to socialize because they're lonely, they scroll social media. And this satisfies their desires. Once their desire is fulfilled, deprivation drops down. And since you're not deprived, you're not motivated. But it's not the real thing. It's like being sick and only treating your coughs because it's painful. If you don't do anything about your sickness, you're still going to be sick. And your coughs will eventually go back to being bad after the medicine wears off, right? You'll be deprived again, aka in pain again, aka motivated. Anything that's numbing a pain that isn't actually doing their thing is kind of a way to cope, right? By scrolling social media when you have the desire to draw, you're actively making yourself less motivated. So if you want to be more motivated, lower your coping mechanisms to allow for more deprivation to show itself. So, to review, motivation can, but doesn't always feel good. But if you want to increase your desire to achieve it, Do it by either creating more deprivation or suppressing less deprivation. And although this is an important topic, this is only one of the factors that goes into taking action. And there were a few more things that I wanted to mention about Genshin, but I'll save them for another video. If you haven't taken the first step yet, you can watch this video. And if you want to make starting every day easier, you can watch this one. I have a Discord server below. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.